Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the New York Small Business Development Center's webinar series. I'm Kathy Fitzmaurice from the Central Office, and I'm hosting today's webinar, How to Build Profitable Relationships Using LinkedIn. Your microphones and telephones are currently muted to eliminate background noise during the program. Questions will be answered throughout the presentation. To ask a question, type it into the question box on your control panel, or you can raise your hand by clicking on the hand icon in your control panel, and I will unmute you. Today's program is being recorded and will be available through WebMQS in the Shared Resources section. So let's get started. I'm pleased to introduce Curt Anderson, Business Advisor from our Jamestown office. Welcome, Curt.
Hey, good morning, Kathy, and good morning, SBDC. Thank you very much for having me today. This is a privilege and an honor, and we are here to discuss a little LinkedIn. As you see on your screen, LinkedIn means business. So we'll jump right into it. You fall into one of two categories. You are either, if you were born before 1980, which I certainly was, well before 1980, you are a digital immigrant. We recall life without the internet and social media. Remember our fax machines, our 8-track players, and all those fun things. If you were born after 1980, those of us born before 1980 don't really like you that much. Just kidding. But you are a digital native, so you've got to put up with us older folks trying to figure out internet marketing, social media. So this workshop that we have today, I usually do to a live audience. So this is my first webinar, so please be gentle, be kind. Hopefully you'll get a little bit out of this, and the intention is to help all of us as advisors and to help your clients. So for those of us that are digital immigrants, we might be a little bit social media challenged or a little resistant or reluctant to jump into LinkedIn. A lot of people are thinking, hey, this is Facebook, we're posting what we had for dessert last night, and that is not the goal of LinkedIn. LinkedIn means business. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so if we were live, I do this little gig where I show all these business cards. Now, this is my stack of business cards that I've acquired since I've joined the SBDC here in lovely Jamestown, which if you've never been to Jamestown, it's a lovely place. For those in the city that are wondering where Jamestown is, you leave New York City, you drive several hours. When you hit a point where you think that you're in the middle of nowhere, you keep going, and then you finally run into Jamestown. Our claim to fame is Lucille Ball. So everything here in Jamestown is about comedy, and because you have to have a wicked sense of humor to live here. Especially with the winter we just had. So when I'm going around my little workshops in my area, I whip out this little stack of business cards, and I say, since I joined the SBDC here at Jamestown 18 months ago, this is every business card that I've acquired. Now this really isn't practical, and I do this little funny thing where I try to shove it into my pocket. If I walked around with all these business cards in my pocket, people would think I was inappropriate and I might get arrested. Or I can walk around with a cell phone and have my LinkedIn app on my cell phone. So what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is my modern Rolodex on a cloud. So you're asking, what's a cloud? Well, that would be for another class, but all I know is that all my LinkedIn information is sitting somewhere on some server, so I can just pull out my little iPhone and get all my information, all my contacts on my cloud. As business advisors, we tell our clients one of your greatest assets, your resource, is it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? That's what we were always told, and it's all your contacts are valuable assets to you. LinkedIn is an unprecedented networking tool that is highly effective, it is efficient, and it is free. So since we're going to become close buddies for the next 50-some minutes, just a little disclosure, Curt Anderson means that I'm part Swedish, so being Swedish means I'm extremely cheap. So my second favorite word is free. So every strategy that we execute today is not going to cost you or our clients one penny. Everything that we're doing is free, it's just a matter of time. Also being Swedish, Kathy found out yesterday that I'm a little on the slow side being Swedish, so sorry about that yesterday, Kathy. But anyway, so I'm slow and cheap. So LinkedIn is a business-focused social media site concentrated on networking and connecting with professionals. So Kathy just asked if I had any sing-alongs. Actually, I do, Kathy. Here's my first one. So all the clients that we're dealing with, they are struggling, or they've come to us for some type of ailment. So we're kind of doctors of business, if you will, trying to throw out decent advice to help our clients. And I like to ask, hey, do you have competition? What's your competition is like? Of course they have competition. Do they like their competition? Well, they're okay. We're kind of friendly. No, they're not friendly with our competition. We loathe our competition. So we want to come up with every competitive edge for ourselves or our clients. We call it the LinkedIn edge. So here's my little sing-along when I do my workshop. It's not what you know. It's not even who you know. So let's all say this together as loud as you can so your office mates can hear you. It's what you know about who you know. Information is absolutely priceless. So as I use LinkedIn 7 days a week. I can't imagine life without it. I don't want to go back to how inefficient my life was not having LinkedIn. I use it for prospecting clients. I use it for my clients to prospect their clients and customers, and so on and so forth. What we're trying to do is gain information on people that we are doing business with. So, for example, who are you? So at this point in my little workshop, I go around the room and I ask, could you please give your name of your company, and what are you hoping to accomplish in the next, I usually do this in 90 minutes, what are you hoping to accomplish in the next 90 minutes where when you leave here, you feel a little bit better, or my goal is how I can help you make a little bit of money when you walk out of the room. So a little trivia, if you're born before 1980, who sang the song, Who Are You? Of course, The Who. So what I do is now it gets kind of fun. So now what I've done is I get the roster of everybody that's in the seminar, and I prospect everybody the night before. And I come up with this little memorization thing. So I try to tag like one little key thing from their LinkedIn profile in to their name. So when you go around the room, they'll say, hey, I'm so-and-so. And I'll be like, hey, what was that college, what was NYU like? What was Brockport like? What was, how was that at this job? Or here's a perfect example. Last week I did a workshop, and I show up in my $100 Men's Warehouse suit that I bought about 12 years ago that my wife begs me not to go in public anymore wearing, but I do anyway. And so as I'm going around the room, I asked this one woman, Leslie. I'm like, Leslie, I have my $100 suit. What do you think of it? Because she went to FIT, and she sits there and gives me that shocked look. So I kind of stalk and creep out everybody because I know a little bit about them. But the whole point is that I'm trying to establish that trust, or I'm trying to build a relationship with these folks, okay? So I'm like, if this was a sales call, if I'm prospecting somebody, or this is a cold call, it's like, how can I get that common connection? Do we have a mutual connection? Do I know something about maybe the college you went to or the previous job, or how can I get that conversation going and make it about them, okay? So, for example, I looked up every one of you last night, okay? So some folks I couldn't find. Some folks don't look like they're very active on LinkedIn. Some folks have outstanding profiles. I don't know who's on the call because Kathy only has that information. I don't have that power. But, and I'm bad with last names, so I'm going to stick with some first names. But a couple people like Hector at LaGuardia has a phenomenal LinkedIn profile. As a matter of fact, I hope he's not on this call because he should be giving this webinar. Carla at Brockport, Frank at Syracuse. If I'm saying his first name correctly, Pasquale. I had a coach Pasquale, so I think I'm saying that right. Down in Brooklyn. Excellent LinkedIn profile. So if I was prospecting those guys, or if I'm going to do business with them just like I do with my current clients, you know, those guys have great profiles. So it's threefold for me. If somebody doesn't have a profile, I feel that's an opportunity for me as an advisor to help them get on LinkedIn. If they have a weak profile, that's another opportunity for me. They need my, or hopefully they need my help. If they've got a tremendous profile, that's even better because now I know this person is a little bit internet savvy and social media friendly, and we can have some strategies, talk about different strategies to help their businesses out. Okay. So how else do I use LinkedIn? For example, since I've joined the SBDC, last year we had the statewide training at Niagara Falls, and if my dear friend Lynn is on the call today, Lynn and her team at Niagara Falls did an absolute incredible job last year. I was just telling Kathy about it. I actually hooked up with Lynn on LinkedIn before I went to the statewide training, and if those of you don't know this about Lynn and she's on the call, I looked at her LinkedIn profile. While she was getting her MBA at UB, she held a 3.75, raising 3 kids and working full-time. Well done, Lynn. And she's got a killer team, Pauline, Maureen. We've hooked up on LinkedIn together. When I was at the statewide training, this is my first job as an adult, and Irene Dobies is my director, who is absolutely incredible, and her boss's boss is going to be at this place, who happens to be Jim King. So I happened to bump into Jim King, checked him out before I went to the statewide training. He went to Bowling Green. I went to Ohio State. We had a nice little Bowling Green, Ohio State conversation. So again, it's like, how can we build these conversations and know things about people that we might not otherwise know? My dear friend Harry Wells, who's a director down in Queens, he went to USC back in the 60s, and he actually played for USC. He played football for USC. Absolutely incredible. You know who he played with? O.J. Simpson. If you're from Western New York, you know O.J. Simpson was this incredible running back for the Buffalo Bills. I think he got in some trouble in the 90s, but I can't remember. But anyway, I had a nice conversation with Harry talking about the USC Buckeye game. So that's my little soapbox there for you there. So why are we on LinkedIn? Here's my second sing-along from anybody that remembers this song from 1980. When I'm doing my workshop, I say, "This ain't no party, man." So if you remember that song, and if you could say this with me, this ain't no party, this ain't no disco, this ain't no fooling around. We're not on LinkedIn for talking about who won on American Idol last night or showing what we had for dinner or dessert. We are aggressively seeking networking opportunities. We want to be a problem solver. If my dear friend Pauline is online today, if you look at her LinkedIn profile, right in her headline, she's like, "I am a problem solver." Well done, Pauline. We're trying to establish trust. That's what we sell on a daily basis. All of our clients are selling trust on a daily basis. I don't care if it's a pizza shop. I don't care if it's your tire repair guy. If it's a manufacturer, your finance guy. We are all selling trust.
Pauline actually, Curt, I'm sorry. Pauline actually has her hand raised. So.
Oh, no. Hi, Pauline.
Pauline, I've unmuted you. Pauline is not. Oh, she's asking a question. She just wanted to say hi and thanks. Thanks, okay. Pauline.
Good morning, Pauline. Okay, so we're trying to build profitable relationships. So the goal, like in sales, the mantra is always it takes 7 no's to get a yes. 7 no's to get a yes. So it takes 8 hits for me to build any type of trust or to build that relationship. What I teach my clients, or what my goal is, or when I'm doing these workshops, how can we get that 7 no's down to maybe 5, down to 4? How can we make a connection or establish a relationship on that 4th connection? And the goal with our LinkedIn profiles, how can we establish that trust sooner? Because all of our clients are very ambitious folks. They are entrepreneurs, and they are achieving amazing goals. And we are there. We are dream supporters, man. That's what we're there for. So who are you talking to? Your good buddy, Curt Anderson. So there's my mug shot. So yes, I'm having a very bad hair day that day, but of course my daughter likes to tell me, "Daddy, you have no hair days every day." So that's who Curt Anderson is, a Swedish guy from Jamestown, New York. And if I could read to you what my goal is, it's my distinct pleasure to be a business advisor at the SBDC. Consulting seasoned entrepreneurs as well as bright-eyed startups is a dream job. So up here in Jamestown, when I'm strolling the halls at Jamestown Community College, it's kind of my MO. "Hey, Curt, how's it going? Living the dream." So remember that. We're having a little pop quiz in a little bit. I want everybody to pass. I'm going to give you guys some tips. So living the dream. My measurement of success is based on 2 simple points since I joined the SBDC. Number 1, I fight tenaciously to help my clients achieve their goals. Number 2, I've got to have a blast on a daily basis while I'm relentlessly pursuing number 1. I don't have a 3rd one. I quit chewing gum since I started working at SBDC, but that was more of a cavity issue. But anyway, I only do 2 things on a daily basis, and I think all of our clients' goals are what? Profit. So I said free is my 2nd favorite word. Profit is my number 1 favorite word. So all of us get those clients that come in, and obviously many are struggling or whatever their case is. And sometimes you might hear, "Well, I'm not going to make a lot of money," or "I'm never going to get rich." I'm like, really? Do you want to make some money? So like our whole goal has got to be profit, profit, profit. We've got to instill that into our clients, build up their confidence. I think sometimes we play shrink than we do play advisor. But anyway, so what else is going on up here in Jamestown? I've launched this little fun thing called the SBDC $1 million e-commerce club. Can't wait to tell you about that. I'm challenging local manufacturers to try to drive new revenue through internet marketing and social media strategies, which is very challenging for folks that have been in business for 30, 50, 100 years. So what are my specialties? E-commerce, financial reporting, internet marketing, social media, LinkedIn, all things fun, small biz, having lots of fun along the way. Business advisor in Jamestown, New York. Now the point, what's the point there? Not to talk about what I can do. As I went through a lot of your profiles, you guys have a very diverse background. Some folks were in importing and exporting. Some people were in finance. I think Dave Dents had a great background up in Rochester. So I was very impressed with a lot of different profiles that I looked at last night. So the thing is, if somebody calls on me, if somebody's looking for like Lean Six Sigma certifications, or if they're looking for who knows what, retail, or I know some of you are thinking, you know, "Hey, Curt, what about a hair salon?" Well, that's real funny, but actually I am working with a hair salon. So anyway, I want to tell people, like, you know, we're matchmakers. You know, so if somebody comes in our office and I'm really not a good fit, we've got an incredible team of advisors here in Jamestown. I absolutely love the team that we work with. We've got great camaraderie, diverse backgrounds. So when a client comes in, we try to line up that client. Like, I don't have a lot of restaurant background, so we'll line that up somebody else, line that client up with somebody else. So business advisor in Jamestown, New York. What's the big deal with that? I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, so define your purpose. Okay, I looked at a lot of the different profiles. Who had a great profile? There's a Christina at Farmingdale. If I have the right person, she's on her profile. She's got find your passion, find your purpose, love your life. If I do have the right person, if she's on today. But anyway, so I've got this little thing I always talk to my clients about in Napoleon Hill. You know, there's one quality which one must possess to win, and that's a definitiveness of purpose. I have a lot of clients that are trying to do like 4 or 5 things just poorly, as opposed to doing a couple things exceptionally well. And that's what I encourage folks to do with their LinkedIn profile, to show that burning desire. You can pick up Napoleon Hill on Amazon for 99 cents. So what's the point of having business advisor in Jamestown, New York on my profile down at the bottom? Well, I'm going to jump in a little bit of search activity here for a minute. This isn't a search class, but this is how important social media is for search. If somebody were to type in my little community here, business advisor in Jamestown, New York, what's number 1 organically? LinkedIn. What's number 2? LinkedIn. What's number 3? Your good buddy Curt Anderson. So the point is, now what I did is I took off all the paid ads to make myself look a little bit better. And the point is, Google and search engines love, love, love social media. So all of our clients, that's why you should be encouraging your clients, depending on where their clients are. That's what's important. Is, are they on Pinterest? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Facebook? Are they on YouTube? Okay. Now, for those of you that maybe use Bing or Yahoo, it gets even worse. There's my mugshot again. So this is how important it is on social media from a search engine standpoint. So it's not just learning about clients or prospecting clients or all the information, the building trust, which is crucial. But in today's world, are we using? Does anybody use a phone book anymore? Like, how are your clients being found? Mobile search. Okay, so here, number 1, if anybody can pronounce what county I live in, Kathy's going to buy you a drink at the state training, and that first listing there, I'll give you a hint, Chautauqua. Chautauqua County is where I'm at. Number 2 is Curt Anderson. They're actually pulling my picture. So this is branding. In 2014 with social media, it's all about personal branding, okay? I deal with a lot of folks that are those digital immigrants. They're in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They want to keep a low profile. They don't want to be online. I'm like, hey, man, if I can show my picture online, you certainly can show your picture online. And people do business with people. They don't do business with businesses. They do business with people. Social media is about branding yourself, okay? Every college that we're parked at for the SBDC, incredible institutions, great assets in our communities, but you know what? Folks in the community are doing business with people, so it's important that our clients are branding themselves and as advisors. So I know I can hear a couple of you in the city saying, hey, Curt, man, we got more than 10 people in your little one-stoplight town in Jamestown, New York. What are the odds of us coming up organically? Well, multiple things. You know, people are now using the social sites for search. People are going into Facebook for search. That's why Facebook just bought Instagram for some ridiculous amount of money, I think $1 billion. You know, people are doing search within LinkedIn, so our clients should be working on their search results within these social media sites and on Google and on other search engines. Did I mention I'm Swedish and all these strategies are free? That's how important all these strategies are. Okay, so we'll get out of search. LinkedIn-alicious. Okay, so let's talk about your profiles. And if you tell anybody I made up this word, I'll deny it, or if you tell my buddies, but you want your profile to be LinkedIn-alicious. As I said, have your cutest picture. We have dashingly handsome, beautiful people at SBDC. Have your picture. Encourage your clients to have their picture. How many of you have been in business for years, maybe did business with so-and-so for 10, 20 years and never knew what they looked like? It's like building trust. I think, was it 83% of people on LinkedIn look at the picture first. It's all about the picture, right? Have a catchy headline. Like my dear friend Pauline has a great headline. And some people say, well, LinkedIn's your resume, man. I'm not looking for a job. Not really. It's about your reputation, okay? For us and our clients, it's not necessarily what did we do in our previous lives. That's important to them. They want to know how can we help them right now, right this minute. Now, I found a lot. I've made thousands of mistakes in my previous life, and I pull those out, and maybe all those mistakes will hopefully help my clients in some capacity. But they want to know, how can I help them right now? So on your LinkedIn profile, think about your reputation. I strongly encourage you to use first person, okay? Sometimes I'll see a LinkedIn profile that says, well, Curt did this, and Curt, you know, so unless I paid somebody to create my profile for me, it's you. You know, it's all about me. And on your profile, I was taught 100 years ago, don't use I. So it's not I did this, I did that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to show you a couple examples. It's all about you. How can we help our clients? Going down this list here, we just showed an example of why relevant keywords are so important. Display your purpose and your goals. What are you all about? Be that problem solver. Make your clients money. Your clients make your customers money. What I'd like to tell people, explain why somebody would want to know you, let alone do business with you, let alone give you their hard-earned money. Okay? So hopefully this all makes sense. Info that you would not know via email. Okay, so for me personally, I'm not a big email fan, so if for a practical joke, if you guys want to shoot me an email, say, hey Curt, how's it going? Here's your email. I prefer LinkedIn, okay, or I have some, I feel I need to be where my clients are. So it's all about communication. If we were live, I would ask, how many of you guys text? And probably all of you would raise your hands, most of you now text. If I asked you that same question 5 years ago, probably be a few of you. But you would say, oh boy, my teenagers text. They even text when they're across the room from each other. They're texting, texting, texting. Well, now it finally caught up to us older folks. We text all the time. I'm almost shocked when my phone rings. I think like something's wrong. Okay, so it's about it's being where your customers are. If my customers are tweeting, I need to be on Twitter. If they're on, like I have clients that contact me on Facebook. Hey, Curt, can I make an appointment? I need to be on Facebook. I need to make it convenient and efficient for my clients and encourage your clients to do the same. I sometimes hear a client, well, if they can't call me, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? What if your competition is accepting a text message? What if your competition's on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter? You've got to be where your clients are. Make it easy, make it convenient, okay? So information that you would not know via email. Here's a great example. I joined SBDC, I think August 2012. In January 2013, my director came up to me. Did I mention that I absolutely love Irene Dobies? So if you see her, please tell her I said that. She said, hey, we've got a couple bucks from a local bank and we would like to do an event. What do you think about doing a social media event? I said, absolutely, I would love to. So I lined up a couple speakers. What do? I immediately go to LinkedIn. I found one gentleman who actually used to work for me in a previous life, found 3 connections through LinkedIn, great speakers. I was all excited. I'm like, you know, I need one more speaker for this event to really pull off just a killer event. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's not a lot of e-commerce folks up here. Who could I get? Well, there's a company nearby. It's called Blair Industries. Blair Industries is a 100-year-old company. Their target market is 70 and up. They sell polyester clothes. Their demographic is like in deep South Mississippi, not what you would think for e-commerce, and they are killing it on e-commerce. They do $300 million. They have, there's a magazine called Internet Retailer. Every year, Internet Retailer comes out with their top 1,000 companies, and every year Blair is on that list. I'm like, I need somebody from Blair. So we have a campus, satellite campus in the town that this company is at, and we have a colleague down there who I'm tight with, and I call her up, my dear friend Abby. I'm like, hey Abby, what's up, girl? Do you know anybody at Blair Industries? And here's what I'm doing. She's like, I sure do. I got 2 names for you. So it's a Monday. So I call the one name, leave a voicemail, Curt Anderson from Jamestown Community College, no message back. That's how important Curt Anderson is. Tuesday, I call the second number. Don't get a phone call back. Wednesday, I come into work. My boss, Irene Dobies, who I love dearly, comes up, hey, what's that other name? I'm like, man, I got to do something. Now my boss is on me. I need another name. Come on, Mr. Social Media, find somebody. So I go on LinkedIn and I type Blair Industries. Bunch of people, about 12 pictures comes up. Who comes up? This guy. Check out that picture. I think that's absolutely hysterical. This is how this guy's branding himself with a cartoon. So let's read about this guy, Christopher Park. Christopher Park's an affiliate partnership manager with some search marketing sprinkled in. I've been doing search since 1996. That to me is funny. So he's not their logistics guy. He's not their CFO. He's not their who knows what. He's their search marketing guy. I'm heading in the right direction. So let's read a little bit more about Chris. Chris has been Blair affiliate partnership manager since 2001. He's been there, been doing search since 2004. He's been there for 24 years, so he's old like me. All right, I'm starting to really dig this guy. So let's read a little bit more. The Blair affiliate program was featured in the premiere of September-October 2006 issues of these magazines. Let's read a little bit more. Chris is an active participant on industry message boards and a frequent speaker. Boom. I just found my guy. he speaks at these events that I'm very familiar with, and let's dig a little bit further. When he's not living the dream, hey, wait a minute, I'm living the dream. I just found my soulmate. This guy's amazing. He coaches football at a team that is a rival of the high school I played at. I shoot this guy a message immediately. He shoots me a message. We get on the phone. I go buy him lunch. Don't tell our wives. He comes and speaks for us at our event. He was an absolute home run. The guy was just fantastic. Great reviews. People loved him. He crushed it. Point is, if I email with Chris, I don't know he's living the dream. I don't know he's got some search sprinkled in. I don't know he's a frequent speaker. So this is about building that trust. There's things that I would have never known about Chris. It's kind of funny. We're in the continuing ed department here at JCC, and about a year ago we were getting everybody on LinkedIn profiles. We're finding out things about each other that we work right next door. The woman next to me has her PhD. I had absolutely no idea. So again, it's all about information, right? Because it's not what you know. Let's say it together. It's not who you know. It's what you know about who you know. Okay, so having a contagious enthusiasm. So if you tell like Chris's profile, it's very enthusiastic. When I went to the state training last year, it was just amazing how everybody's just so enthusiastic at SBDC. It was just contagious. So I'd rather die of passion than die of boredom. If you want to check out a very enthusiastic and passionate profile, check out Cynthia Marks from Farmingdale, SBDC. Is Cynthia on? Boy, she's got an incredible life story on her LinkedIn profile. Well done, Cynthia, if you are on today. Okay, how can I contact you? Make it easy for your clients. Tell your clients to make it easy for their customers to contact you. Sometimes there's some restrictions you can put up. You know, hey, I don't want everybody contacting me, you know, so on and so forth. You're worried about spam. What if you're worried about a customer not being able to contact you? So you can put up like, well, you're required to have my email address. That's a personal choice, and I tell clients, you know, if you're in a witness protection program, which, you know, I question some people in SBDC, but anyway, if you don't have a reason to not be easily accessible, make it easy. Add your website link, your email, Twitter, phone number, customize your URL. What on earth am I talking about? Let's check out this guy. So this is a guy, he and I used to work together. Jason Deering, handsome man. He's actually working on a bunch of different projects for her. He's a web design internet marketing guy. Let's check out his profile. Can you guys see my arrow? Maybe? If you can see my arrow, I'm pointing at this little box here. It says relationship. So LinkedIn can actually play like a little bit of a CRM for you guys. If you can see, I cut it off a little bit. Next to relationship, it says contact info. Let's see what Jason did. He's got his email address. He's got his phone number. He's got his birthday. If you want to do business with Jason, shoot him a birthday announcement sometime. There's a lot of information that you can get from prospecting clients to turn it in from a cold lead into a warm lead, okay? The customized URL where it says LinkedIn, www.linkedin.com/Jason Deering. If you look at your profile after your last name, you probably have a bunch of numbers or letters. Not a huge deal, but you can clean those up, get rid of those. This is a customized URL for just you. Is it a big deal? No, but you can put it on your business card, you can put it on your email, literature, what have you. Website. If you don't tweak this, it just says company website, or other, okay? Go in and change it. Because like a guy like Jason, where he's selling himself with websites and he wants people to see these other websites, and I don't have to guess what website I'm choosing. Is it a huge deal? No, but all these little tips certainly help. Okay, LinkedIn makes sense, C-E-N-T-S. I hope we're all having fun. Whether you're looking for a customer, a vendor, a job, an employee, what you want to do, show your areas of expertise, your experience, build your personal brand. Post articles, comments, updates, be active. When I whip out that little stack of cards, that is your Rolodex. If I don't nurture that, if I don't massage it, if I don't have business, I need to be connecting like crazy, whether you're shooting out emails, LinkedIn connections, tweeting, what have you. You've got to keep people in your mind for when they need you, because they only need you when they need you, right? Did that make sense? Okay. Here's my dear friend, Barb Berry. Barb Berry is a local client. She's given me permission to use her profile. And Barb is an incredible woman who I love dealing with. She's part of my little $1 million e-commerce club, if you remember me mentioning that. Let's read about Barb. She shoots me a message one day. She's like, hey, I'm working on my LinkedIn profile. Could you read it? What do you think? So let's read what's going on with Barb. Ulrich has been in the business of large document filing since 1915, and that expertise has only grown with each generation. You can make one call today and have access to nearly 100 years of large document filing expertise, leaving you time to focus on your business. I just think that's fantastic. What she's doing in those first two sentences, she's concerned about you. She wants to help your business so you can focus on your business. What she's doing is she manufactures these large vertical filing cabinets, and it's for any documents that cannot be stored horizontally. They've been in business for 100 years, and again, we did that little keyword example. She's using her keywords here. Let's keep reading about Barberry at Ulrich. Companies like NASA, Boeing, Pfizer, Hormel Foods, Siemens, major companies have trusted Ulrich filing cabinets. Boom, she's using her keyword again. These engineering drawings include our country's, let's see, I got something in front of here, rockets into space, as well as machine drawings at our most trusted manufacturers. She goes on to talk about a couple universities that she's worked with, government agencies. So if Roxanne, my dear friend Roxanne, remember that song from the 80s, Roxanne, the Police? Roxanne in Utica was a huge help for me working with Barberry at Ulrich Plan Filing. So if any of you are in the Rust Belt, if any of you are working with manufacturers, I strongly encourage you. My clients love working with Roxanne up in Utica. And we are using LinkedIn for targeting government procurement agencies, Fortune 500 companies. So Barberry here is working very close. That's where her clients are. They're all on LinkedIn, and she's got a couple really nice success stories on connections here. Okay, so let's move on. So what's Barberry doing there? Give value first. Again, it's not all about me, I. It's how can I help my client? How can I help that customer? Strive not to be a person of success, but a person of value. And I think that guy was pretty smart that said that. So here's my tip of the day for you guys. Okay, my tip of the day. When you send out connections, and it'd be great, what I'll do is I'm going to give it a week. And anybody that's not on LinkedIn, if you're going to add a profile, I'm going to shoot a connection, a little thank you to everybody that was on our thing today, our little shindig today. And what we'll do is then everybody can connect with each other, and then when we meet each other at the end of the month, we all know what each other looks like. We know a little bit of information about each other. So I'm going to give you guys a few days to maybe get your profiles up, and then I'm going to shoot everybody a connection. We'll all be connected, and then I'm going to shoot a thank you to everybody, and everybody will be tagged onto that message. So here's my tip. When you send out a connection, please, please don't use that personal little canned note that says, hey, join my network. Send out that value message. It's an opportunity to connect with somebody. Hey, it was nice to meet you. Thank you for your business. Nice to see you at the trade show. Nice to do whatever. How can I help you? Let me give you a couple examples. So we all have all sorts of different clients, and this example would work for just about anybody. So, for example, I've got a guy who, well, I'm working with like an engineer. I'm working with a guy who does like lean certifications. I've got a guy that's doing like air conditioning and heating. So what we're doing for connections, instead of shooting out connections and saying, hey, how you doing? If you need somebody in heating, or if you ever need my services, please call me. We're trying to reverse it. Okay, so let's say if I have a business, what companies would have symmetry with me that I'm not competing with, but it'd be a resource where it'd be in my best interest to have in their pocket. Maybe they're dealing with a lot of similar type companies as myself. So we use like my heating and air conditioning guy, for example. So he's going to be using LinkedIn strategies this summer to connect with like-minded companies, maybe home inspectors, home builders, insurance companies, furniture companies. And what his tagline is going to be is he's going to shoot a connection with these folks and say, hey, I checked out your LinkedIn profile and you come highly recommended. Well done. I've noticed in my business, I frequently get asked for companies that provide your service, and it really would be in my best interest or makes me look better, or however you want to term it, don't quote me on this. If I could have a company of your stature in my pocket that I could refer. Would you mind, could I stop by and introduce myself to learn more about you and your company and how my clients could benefit by your services? Totally different approach if I call up and say, hey man, your customers could use my service. Could I stop by so I can tell you a little bit about me? So we're really trying to do like a real reverse value of like building these profitable relationships. So now, what are the odds of a home inspector, that realtor, or what have you? Do they need an air conditioning guy? Boy, you never know, but if they do, who are they going to think of first? This guy who has their best interest in mind. So it doesn't really matter about that my guy's a heating and air conditioning guy. You could utilize that for virtually any recipe. So the goal is, How can I make those value connections by helping our other clients, right? For us as SBDC advisors, aren't you constantly contacted by, hey, the accountant wants to do business with you, or some insurance guy, or for me, I get a lot of internet marketers or web designers. They're like, hey, can you get me into this client? Can you get me into this client? No, man, I'm busy trying to get my own clients. But when a person calls me up and says, hey, Curt, boy, I'd really love to help your clients out, and this is what I do, and this is how I can help. If you're there to help my clients, I'm all over it. Okay, makes sense? Okay, now we're going to jump into this I got a little LinkedIn love affair that I'm going to demonstrate to you guys. And I'm going to tell you about my little $1 million e-commerce club. So Elizabeth Cipolla. Who is Elizabeth Cipolla? She's got a great little profile here. She's a professional trainer, speaker, career coach, columnist, regional director at this company, and she is an HR expert, if you will. She writes a column for a couple, I believe several local papers up here in Western New York. And last summer, she wrote this great article on LinkedIn. Do you think I was excited? Of course I was. So what I do is I read this article. I shoot her a LinkedIn connection. Hey, Elizabeth, awesome article. Well done. We'd love to meet you sometime. I'm looking at her profile, and one of my colleagues here at JCC actually wrote her a real endearing testimony. So that actually built a little bit more trust that, hey, I should get to know this person. She responds immediately, hey, Curt, looking at your profile, seems like we should definitely get together. We might have some overlap on some customers and some clients that we could work on together. We get together, meet up, have this great conversation. A few months goes by. I'm like, hey, I've got a couple interesting success stories going on from a manufacturing standpoint with e-commerce. Could I tell you about it? Absolutely. She fell in love with the story. She wrote a couple articles on a couple of my clients. It was just, my clients just absolutely loved it. I've got a meeting at 2 o'clock today with Elizabeth and another client. And so I brought in one of my clients today. Turn your volume up nice and loud. And let's see, this is Tammy Snyder from International Ordnance, who, Roxanne, if you're on, you should know Tammy. And can I get the volume?
I just wanted to thank you, Curt, for introducing me to LinkedIn and the possibilities of what that could do for me and helping me develop with Eric Martin, our website. I think that it's given me the marketing tools that I need to take our company to another level and start marketing our company internationally. LinkedIn has, just in the last couple of weeks, has given me the opportunity to connect with people I would never dream of connecting with. Vice President of Lockheed Martin in the United Kingdom, the Vice President of Align Tech Systems in Lake City, Vice Presidents of General Dynamics, and LinkedIn has allowed me to create an opportunity and I guess a contact list that I would never had without it. And I feel it's a great opportunity for me when we launch our website and make announcements within the company that I now have this who's who's list of contacts through LinkedIn that we can now market our company internationally and domestically. So I'm really excited about it. Thank you.
Okay, so what's the first thing that you notice about that video? Yes, how bad my hands were shaking. My God, it was like I needed a heroin fix. Wasn't that awful? I hope nobody got motion sickness this morning, but that video was fantastic. Tammy was just ranting and raving. Every time she made a new connection internationally, she's shooting me the emails. So the story on Tammy is, so I'm kind of the website reaper up here where I'm at. So what I do is if a manufacturer has a really poor website or bad web presence, hopefully I'm knocking on their door and saying, hey, Mr. Manufacturer, could I help you out with your web presence or your website? Tammy was a perfect example. I walked in and she welcomed me with open arms. Now, I thought I was Mr. Cool, but little did I know that she was already working with my director, Irene Dobies, on getting her WBE, but I still thought I was cool. So anyway, she had a very, very poor website. She'll be the first to tell you. And so what we did, she hooked up with this outstanding web designer. Guy's absolutely incredible. We took her one-page, awful website, turned it into an incredible website. Launched a website last June. She had about $5,000 wrapped up into this website. She immediately started getting international orders, and we're prospecting our client these new leads through LinkedIn, making connections. And her first order, $40,000. Her gross margin's about 30%, easily paid for her website first order. Next order went to Spain, $400,000. So from this experience with Tammy, I'm like, geez, what if I could do this with more people? So I'll just bore you with another example. So here's another website guy that I'm dealing with. So this guy's a guy that I know. He's Swedish like me. He's cheap. So if you look at this website, Westberg, cutting edge website. Is it not? Doesn't that a beautiful picture of that 100-year-old factory building, some boring text, all those links don't work. Okay, so now I'm going to flip to his new site. Now you've got to look very closely to see the difference. Ready? Boom. I'll show it to you again. Subtle difference, right? This company here is, as you can see, was founded in 1919, third generation, guy's in his 40s, guy that I've known for years. And when I started this job, I've been begging this guy to get online for years. When I started at the SBDC, I called him up. I'm like, dude, I'm free. You've got no excuse. So what I did is I hooked him up with a guy that we looked at earlier, Jason Deering, and we executed we worked together and put up a new website. He's got about $5,000 wrapped up in this website. We launched the site in January 2013 last year. Received an order immediately the first week. The second order, $9,000 order to New Zealand. So here's a guy for 100 years. He's been targeting about a 100-mile radius of Western New York here. Instantly went international. Our goal for the year was $50,000. He broke $120,000 in revenue for 2013. He landed a $50,000 order to Mexico in January. For 12 months, he broke $200,000, and our goal for this year is to be well over $500,000. So for both Barberry at Ulrich, for Tammy Snyder at the International Ordnance, the video you just watched, for this guy here, my goal is how could we get more all three of these companies date back over 100 or close to 100 years. So from that, I've got 10 manufacturers, and it is challenging working with companies that have been doing business for years. They're very resistant to change. These are a couple examples that these guys have been a little bit more receptive. And we are using, and the reason I shared all that with you is that we are using LinkedIn. So of my $1 million e-commerce companies, I've got 10 of them. We are all using LinkedIn strategies for these manufacturers to find new clients, new leads, international prospects, and again, did I mention free? Okay. Seek opportunity with tenacity. We need to network like crazy. All relevant business connections, whether they're customers, vendors, associates, members of the local business community. Fellow alumni, okay, or your fellow SBDC advisors. This is a funny story. Okay, so I'm in upstate New York, and I live near SUNY Fredonia, if any of you have heard of SUNY Fredonia. And that SUNY Fredonia is the State University of New York, beautiful campus. They primarily educate kids on education and music, and ironically, they have a technology incubator there. So it is not Stony Brook up here. It's kind of an oddball having an incubator up here, but we have one. At the incubator, I've got several clients, and of course, at an incubator, they are starving artists. They're trying to launch the next Facebook or what have you, and there is just not a lot of capital up here to choose from. It is not Silicon Valley where we are at. So I go to the gym every morning, and every morning when I'm at the gym, I would see this guy, and this guy is absolutely hysterical. He works out with a personal trainer. His personal trainer probably weighs about 150 pounds, has about 2% body fat, and this personal trainer just puts this guy through the ringer. Now, when I leave the gym, this guy will be out front of the gym smoking a cigarette, and he's telling me he's threatening and wants to kill his little personal trainer from working him out so hard. Absolutely hysterical. I never knew the guy's name, but all I knew is I would watch his little trainer, who's this little devout Christian guy. And this guy is just threatening him. He's dropping vulgarities on him, how he wants to crucify him, wring his neck, kill him for working him out so hard, and then he goes outside and has a cigarette. I never knew what this guy did. I didn't know if he was unemployed, if he was a garbage man, what have you. Let's look at his profile. Peter Levinson happens to be a medical doctor with an MBA. Now, I don't know how many of you know medical doctors with MBA. That's kind of a unique combination. I find this guy on LinkedIn, knew the guy for about a year, never knew what he did, never asked him because everybody's running in the gym, running out to get to work. And come to find out, this guy was part of Blue Tree Angels Group. Blue Tree Angels Group is an angel group based out of Pittsburgh. I'd actually connected with the CEO of the angel group down in Pittsburgh because I was trying to help my starving artists here at Fredonia, New York, try to get funding. Well, come to find out, this guy who I see at the gym every day is part of the angel group. Made a connection with this guy. We developed a great relationship, went to a couple venture meetings in Buffalo, hooked him up with one of my clients. He actually offered one of my clients. My client backed out on a deal, so I wish I had a better success story. But this guy, and become friends with him and his wife. Great little success story. And if it weren't for LinkedIn, he's still that guy that's out front of the gym smoking, threatening his little personal trainer. So again, it's not just, I've got examples of people trying to connect their businesses internationally or throughout the country or regionally or whatever their situation is. Here's a guy that I saw. Whatever you're hanging out at, there might be people that you could be doing business with that you just don't know. So again, what is it? It's not what you know. It's not who you know. It's what you know about who you know. Okay. So give and get referrals. I absolutely love, love, love giving referrals. There's nothing better than giving somebody a nice referral, showing that random act of kindness, right? Okay, so here's a couple examples. I had a client contact me a couple of months ago, and what I do with every one of my clients, I look them up on LinkedIn first. I look up this fine young woman on LinkedIn who has written her a nice testimonial. But our dear friend Tony of SBDC at Buff State wrote this very nice testimonial. So now I'd like to treat all my clients the same. I don't want to say that I treat anybody any different. But do you think I had a little extra kick in my step when this client came in, knowing that Tony wrote her a nice testimonial? Of course I did. I've got numerous situations. My client, who we saw the video on, she targets the defense industry, okay? So we were trying to come up with strategies. How can I get, how she really wanted to get testimonials on her website. Which would really, she's dealing with a lot of Fortune 500 companies, defense companies, and would go a long way. But there's a lot of privacy issues, and a lot of my manufacturing clients can't get those testimonials. So we're doing a reverse strategy. I'm like, Tammy, what if you go to the guys that you're in? She's in a man's world, okay? And she's a great mom on her LinkedIn profile. She's got a bunch of stuff about being a mom, she'll shoot me an email of a guy in Australia. Just really endearingly looking at her profile, and she's building this wonderful relationship. So now what she's doing is she's shooting referrals onto the gentleman that she's doing business with, and just very nice testimonials. You know, so-and-so is a great guy of the highest integrity. I've done business with so-and-so for many years, so, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is, it's establishing that trust, showing that relationship, and now people can see publicly that she does do business. It's just a reverse way of doing it, okay? And we've had a nice situation there. Endorsements. A lot of folks ask, you know, endorsements. I'm getting endorsed from people I don't know. You know, endorsements are a great way of, like, maybe your customers haven't touched base with in a long time, or they haven't talked to. You know, go on their profile and just, you know, hit a couple endorsements. Again, all these strategies are free. So I strongly recommend shooting out referrals to people that you're doing business with. Groups. Groups are a great place to hang out. They are. It's a great place for you know, like-minded people. When I'm doing my workshops, whoever's in the audience, if you know, if I've got a mortgage lender and I said, hey, there's a bunch of people that need mortgages in the next room, they'd be running past me to get into that room. If my engineer guy, my manufacturers, like if you've got buyers somewhere in the building, you'd be sprinting to those people. Well, they're on LinkedIn and they are on groups. Groups are an opportunity to be engaging, jump into conversations. You can start a conversation. You can start a group. I've had a couple nice success stories with groups. One thing I encourage you, control your settings. If you're new to LinkedIn and you're like, hey, I'm going to join a ton of groups, you can get a little overwhelmed with your emails. So you make sure that you control those emails. So groups are a great place to hang out and show your areas of expertise. So for example, like this was an interesting group conversation this guy posted. Will social media replace email? If you see this underneath where it says follow Phil, next to comment, he had 119 comments. So see, if you could come up with a strategy of like, hey, Mr. Client of ours at SBDC, you know, what if we start a group? Or what if we start a conversation within an existing group? And if you could get a conversation engaging of 119 people and you're deeming yourself as a problem solver, or you're showing your area of expertise, you know, what if somebody reaches out, hey, you know, could we take this to the next level? Could I call you? Could I email you? Could we take this conversation all offline? And again, these are all free conversations. Okay. Here's a snapshot for you guys to look at. So this is the dashboard, especially for you folks that haven't come online yet. There's under the privacy controls, there's different things that you can check out. There's a frequently asked questions. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. If you have any questions, I am huge on YouTube. Anytime I'm stuck on something, I am YouTubing how to do this, how to change this, how do I tweet this, how do I blah, blah, blah. Use YouTube. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. Okay, company page. Company page is a great little resource. Again, my second favorite word, free. You can connect all your clients can connect all their employees. It can become the company blog. It's great for keywords. We showed the example why keywords are so important. You can post articles, updates, company news. If somebody is researching a company, again, people do business with people. I've got a lot of manufacturers. Again, they're like, they're the best kept secret. I'm like, you guys, you've got to get online. You've got to. Well, I'm worried about my competition. I'm more worried about your customer or that potential customer who's finding your customer first. I've got manufacturers that have, hey, we've got a dozen engineers on staff. We've got chemists. We've got this. You've got, brag about those guys. Get those people on your LinkedIn company page. And your people are your greatest resource, greatest asset. You can also use it as a recruiting tool. I've got some professional firms that are using it as their company page as a recruiting tool. Okay, we're wrapping up here soon. Competitors, it's a great place to check out your competition. What are they doing? Who are they? Who are you up against? Who are your connection? Or who are their connections? And are they connecting with your clients? So competition is a great place to, LinkedIn is a great place to check out your competition. And what I like to tell people is now we get a little aggressive here. Hunger Games. So for my clients that are a little soft or maybe they're a little weak on their competition, I give them this little speech. If any of my competitors were drowning, I'd stick a hose in their mouth and turn on the water. It is ridiculous to call this an industry. This is not. It is rat eat rat, dog eat dog. You're talking about the American way, survival of the fittest, Mr. Healthy himself, Ray Kroc of McDonald's. So I get a little kick out of that. Our goal is massive success for our clients. We don't want balance sheets. We want obnoxiously healthy balance sheets. No longer do we want a profit and loss statement. We want a profit, no loss statement, and it's no longer a cash flow statement. We're looking at cash flood. So one thing that I left out that I'd like to go back to is I saw a lot of you folks on everybody here is, at some point in time has done a workshop or a presentation or what have you. When you're doing your presentations, as I mentioned, what I have found it is great to know who your audience is beforehand. I'm doing a little bit of stalking the night before, because when you come into that meeting, whatever your topic is, whatever your area of expertise is, it's nice to have that little connection with your audience immediately. I found I use LinkedIn the night before or a couple nights before to establish that communication, that relationship, hopefully a little bit of friendship. Maybe it softens the crowd a little bit. And if Lynn is on the line, she can attest. My colleague Nick Ferrara and myself have been going around Western New York for the past year doing Affordable Care Act seminars. And let me tell you, there is no tougher topic to talk about than the Affordable Care Act. It is a political charged topic, and we've encountered some tough crowds, and shame on me for not being more prepared in those meetings when they start, especially in October when the website first came out and it was kind of a disaster and people were very hot and heated. Now it doesn't matter what presentation or what workshop I'm doing. So if you are doing public speaking, think about using LinkedIn as a great tool. Get that the list of your roster the night before and get a little piece of information, because again, you're vulnerable standing there. If you know a little bit about your client, they're like, oh wait, they did their homework, they know something about me. It makes them feel a little bit more connected, okay? So to wrap up, we are living the dream. If you could say it with me one more time, this ain't no party, man. This ain't no disco. This ain't no fooling around. We are LinkedIn for profit opportunities to build those profitable relationships. We're not posting what we had for dessert. It's not what you know. It's not who you know. It's what you know about who you know. Be that trusted problem solver, just like Pauline said on her profile. Network like crazy and profit. So that is my end. We are before 11 o'clock, and I love SBDC. Thank you guys very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Curt. Now, does anybody have any more questions for Curt? We did have one during the presentation from Roxanne, but you did answer it. She had asked if you'd be touching on endorsements, which you did. So thank you for that, Curt. And yes, Lynn is on the webinar too.
Hi, Lynn.
So I'm not seeing, oh, I'm seeing a question. Oh, Pauline saying, thank you, Curt and Kathy. Thank you, Pauline, and Curt welcomes you, I'm sure. Anything else? Well, Curt, that was a very wonderful presentation. I know I was intrigued the entire time.
I had a blast. It's very lonely doing this by yourself. My God, I should have grabbed somebody to do that. I should have dragged some. The kids are on spring break. I couldn't even drag anybody in the room today. So thank you all very much. I hope this was helpful. I hope this is what you guys were looking for. If you have any questions, just reach out to me anytime.
We do have a question from Miriam. She wants to know, and this is a great question, some of the profiles you showed were premium, which means paid for. Do you think it's worth upgrading?
Excellent question, Miriam. And I was looking at Miriam's profile because I think Miriam won an award last year, if I'm not mistaken, at the statewide training. But anyway, that's a great question. And to be honest with you, Miriam, I'm going to be honest with you, no. I don't think that it is worth it unless you have a client that's specifically looking for a job, but since we're dealing with business folks, I don't think it's worth it. And like I said, I'm cheap. It's $20 a month. Unless there's a reason to do it, I tell my clients not to.
Glam says thank you. She loved the website example.
I was looking at Glam's profile, and I wasn't positive how to pronounce her name, but she has a very nice profile. She's at Columbia, if I'm not mistaken. So she has a nice profile.
So now we know Curt is a stalker, so be wary of him at staff training. Just kidding, Curt. I look forward to meeting you in person. Anybody else have any other questions or comments? And I think that's it. So again, this webinar was recorded. It will be available in WebMQS. And thank you so much, Curt. And this ends our presentation. So everybody have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
See you guys. Thank you.